Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Markus Karlsson, and today we're bringing you special coverage from the World Economic Forum in Davos. And for that, I'm joined here by Emma Marcegaglia. She's the head of Confindustria, which is the main employers organization in Italy. And Italy, of course, is at the heart of the Eurozone's troubles at the moment, and with the Eurozone debt crisis. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Let me first ask you this. How is Italy and the Italian economy doing from your perspective? What are your member companies telling you?
Well, we are in a recession, you know that. The projection, the estimation for the GDP in 2012 are minus 1.6, minus 2%. We are in a sort of credit crunch because of the spread BTP boom. So there are some concern about, the corporate people, the people from entrepreneur. But I have also to say that with the new government, we are a little bit more. We have more confidence. Mm-hmm. We think that we are on the right path. But of course, there is concern because we have, minus 2%. The demand, the internal demand is very low. The exports are doing less better than in the past, so there are some concerns.
But you say that yes, we're expecting a recession this year, but how hard are your member companies going to be hit? What are they telling you about the real effect of Italy's economic woes at the moment? Because of course, yes, a contraction, 1.6% contraction is a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, let's say that the entrepreneurs, the companies who work only for the internal demand are very upset because the internal demand is very low.
But exporters are doing better.
Export is not doing well as in the past, but is still doing not bad. So the companies who are exporting, also in the United States, in Asia, in China, in Brazil, they're doing a little bit better. But anyway, the real concern is also, as I said before, the credit crunch. There is a problem with the bank. There is a problem with credit given by the banks. And so what we are asking to the government is also doing something for growth, doing something for interrupt this credit crunch, which is bad.
Just on that topic of the Italian government, led by, of course, by Mario Monti, the technocratic prime minister, you said before that you're feeling more confident with him in office than with Silvio Berlusconi. What exactly do you want him to do, though, when it comes to that growth issue?
What we need as country is to change. We need these structural reforms because, as you know, also before the crisis, our GDP growth was on average minus 1% of GDP growth compared with average Europe. So it's a long time that we don't grow enough. So what we need are structural reforms, and we have to say that the initial, the beginning of this government is good. They did a very good pension reform, which we needed. They did this 24 billion maneuvers, and we will reach in 2013 zero deficit, which is good. They started with liberalization, and in Italy, it's very difficult, also in France, to do liberalization for the lawyers, in transportation, in energy, and this is good because this can, in the long term, in the medium term, can help growth. Now we are talking about labor market reforms, which is another very key issue. So the idea is that the beginning is good, but they have to go on. They have also, in our opinion, they have to privatize. They have to sell assets, public assets. We have a lot of public assets. We have a lot of debt, but we have also a lot of public assets. We need to make some cut in the public spending, not in all of them, as has been done before, but in the useless part of the public spending, because we have to have money to invest in what is very good for growth, education, research and innovation, infrastructure. So this is the new things that the government has to do.
That is a very long list, but of course all of those reforms, that's going to be painful for the Italian population. How long do you think it will take before the Italian population and the Italian people can actually start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel?
I think that 2012 will be, as we said, a difficult year. I think that if we do these reforms, and also, but I think we will talk about that after, and also if the right decision will be taken in Europe, I think 2013, let's say maybe also the last part of 2012 could be better. So we still have some months of pain, but I think that if we do the right things, maybe at the end of 2012, in the second part of 2012, maybe we will see some increase in, in growth.
If we see a lot of protests in the streets, though, are you confident that the Italian government will have the backing of all of the parties in Parliament? For instance, Silvio Berlusconi, there's talk of him returning to politics and perhaps withdrawing his support of Mario Monti's government.
Yeah, well, let's say one thing. You saw that we did these pension reforms, which was very hard. Now in Italy, the people will retire at 67 years. It's one of the best pension scheme in Europe. And we just have 3 hours of strike, of general strike. That was it. Now we have a lot of fight because of the transport of the trucks or things like that. But in my opinion, we will go on that.
So you think that Italians, they realize that change is needed? They're not going to turn out in the streets.
Of course, these people who are, who will have less privileges, they protest. But most of the people will have an advantage because it means less tariffs. The price will go, will be lower in, let's say, in transport, in energy, in gas. So the people understand that, and they are with the government.
So you're saying that the risk of the Italian government collapsing, that's not that big in your view? I
have to say that, in my opinion, this is really a very low risk because Silvio Berlusconi, Bersani, they understood that if this government collapses, Italy will be in a very big trouble. And I have to say that also Silvio Berlusconi now has a very good attitude, as a responsible attitude towards Monti, so they are supporting this government. So I don't see really a risk of this government collapsing before 2013, which is the last, the end of this legislation.
Now, Italy, of course, it isn't alone. It's dependent on its European partners, France, Germany, and all of the other Eurozone members. You've been very critical of the German approach to the Eurozone crisis, which is all about austerity and all about cutting budgets. So why is that?
Because I think that the attitude of Chancellor Merkel, I understood that before, let's say, 3 or 4 months ago, because it was not so clear that Italy was able to do this austerity plan. Spain was not clear that was able to do this austerity plan. But now, as we said before, Italy really showed that we are doing austerity in a very...
Italy has shown its goodwill.
Oh, we did... I don't know if you realize that last year we did a maneuver of 81 billion euro, which is the highest ever in Italy, but I think is maybe the highest in any European country. And it's a very... strict one. It's not, just number. It's very clear. It's very strict. So now we show that we embrace austerity. Spain did the same. So now I don't understand why, having those countries, Italy, Spain, the other one, changing government with governments who really are making austerity one of their flag. Why she wants to stay so strict on this situation? I think we need, a bigger ESM. We need, a different attitude of the ECB. We need really to change a little bit.
You call her attitude intolerable. That's a pretty harsh word.
No, I know it's very, but because I understand that we did a lot. As you said before, the Italian people are suffering because raise tax, cutting everything, and so. But we don't solve our problem if we don't have, Europe changing the situation. If we don't have any different ESM, we don't have a different attitude of ACB. So the real thing is that if we don't go on with, these European reforms, the risk, in my opinion, is that not only in Italy, to be honest, is not so hard, but in a lot of, European countries, you have people saying, well, Europe is only pain, so we don't want Europe. We want to be protected. We want to go back, to nationalism, which will be a disaster. So that's why I think it's very important to change attitude.
But of course, the German thinking here is that countries like Spain, like Italy, like Portugal, and like Greece, they need to show solidarity by being disciplined. when it comes to their budgets.
You know, but now we are. As I said before, she was right. Now I think we are really showing that we are. You know, with this maneuver, we will reach zero deficit in 2013, which we will be the only one to do that, you know. So I think we are showing now that we are doing discipline, that we are, you know, we are doing austerity, and this is very clear. And so I think now also Europe must do his job.
All right, and inflation, that is the German concern at all times, often when it comes to economics. You're saying that's not such a big concern at the moment?
You know, I think that if we go on with this recession, not only in Italy, but all over Europe, the real problem will be unemployment, will be social cohesion. So, you know, I think now we have so many problems to solve that, yes, inflation is important, but I think it's more important to combat, you know, unemployment. Is more important to go back to growth. Otherwise, my fear is that, you know, the European Union, the attitude of the people with the European Union could become very negative, and this would be really a disaster. I want to repeat that because, in my opinion, this is a key point now.
All right, we hear your warning. Emma Marcegaglia, thanks very much indeed for taking the time to speak to us today. And with that, we're going to wrap up the program. Thanks for watching.